Hello and welcome. This is Briggsy, and today we'll be looking at D4DJ cover track volume 2, which...
Or at least the beginning of.
Oh, yeah. Again, we're going to probably be doing a similar format as we did with volume 8?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure it was volume 8 we covered. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're going to be breaking it down and covering each unit. So this would be 3 parts because, well, we don't have Unicord or Abysmere to cover.
True. Yeah.
And I think most of these are going to be, although I'm not sure about volume 9. But I'm not sure when we're going to be covering volume 9.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It's not like we've been covering them in order.
No. We'll see when we get there, I guess. I guess also, yeah, to preface, we have listened to the original songs as well, so we can make that direct comparison between the original and the covers. And
Well, I think they should already be familiar with that if they've watched Volume 8, but I guess it's good to the Volume 8 covers that we done. But I guess it's good to let those that are new here know. But I guess we should get into the first song, which is Kokoro... Oh, fuck, the second part's got me a bit stuffed. Odoru?
yeah.
There we go. That's probably the best I'm going to get.
Or also known as Heart is Dancing.
Actually, why didn't they go with that? That sounds actually a bit nicer.
Originally performed by the hip-hop band Nobody Knows Plus and used as the ending theme for the second season of Superior Defender Gundam Force.
I wonder where they get the names like that from. It's like, just, we need to come up with something snappy and fancy. I know what would work. Superior Defender Gundam Force.
SDGF. Yeah, it doesn't even make a good acronym. I don't know.
Well, I guess it's better than having the acronym come out to be MILF.
Yeah. Or is it? Maybe that's a good marketing ploy.
Oh, SDGF actually sounds like your typical acronym anyway.
Yeah. It'd be funner if it did spell out something. All right. Should we get to it?
I'm just going to kind of start off with saying, like, as I said, when we were listening to the original, like, this has, like, Happy Around Our Energy written all over it.
Yeah, yeah.
And you can see they just took it and ran off with it.
Yeah, definitely a no-brainer pick for, throwing this one at Happy Around. It makes so much sense. The overall energy, yeah. It's interesting the way that they've taken it and ran with it, as you just said, because, yeah, they definitely heightened it for sure. Like, it's the original has a lot of energy, but I guess, yeah, something that we also mentioned is got sort of like a late 90s, early 2000s vibe to it, where they've definitely brought it into the future and gave it much more of a hard-hitting dance pop vibe, which... the song just works so well with that in mind as well.
Not only that, but the vocals have definitely really picked up the pace.
Yeah.
Which, saying that, the vocals were already pretty quick in the original.
They were pretty quick and pretty stylized, I would say, as well, which they've definitely been able to capture that same sort of feel so far, particularly in the original. You know, the vocals, because it is like a rap group, there was definitely an attention to detail when it came to like the panning and where to put certain vocals at certain times, and they've nailed that as well here, which is really, really good. Yeah, so far, great job.
俺は急いで歯を磨ってもう通らせんさみな編み出す通過があって心騒ぎ出す時間場所など限らず適当に日常メリハリ毎日変わる音フレッシュデリバリー揺らすボディロックますます欲張る向かう矛先はプラスでもちょっと変えてくことがないところどころ心こそ転がし合うだから今日は今日振り切る昨日かかるからオブラスこのひたたき人たるよドア開けたらフロア浮き足立つけどしれるコアアップエンダウンこっちちゃんとタウンレッツダンスカモン加速カモンもうカモンいても立ってもいらない心だけじゃ収まんないで出会わないシェイクバディぎこちないならないで可愛い心を感じるままにララライブライぶっ飛び笑い笑い愛し愛され喜怒哀楽刻む音と音がつなぐこの場合届いたらならできたないエンジョイ音楽は鳴り続けるジョイ届けたい胸の鼓動心躍るアンコールはガスタンスタンスタンス Let it go 火のコールロイより飛び越しの通り通り泳ぎ続ける Enjoy It's joy こうする心響き続けるでかく楽しいもんだリラクテラス狙う暇なんか単純に簡単預けてカウントダウン3、2、1なりふり構わず夢中で駆け抜ける息巻いてインスタルディさらに深い感動へ猛烈 Oh yes 心躍る今日へ今ゴリゴリ乗り飛び込む平等に乗り泳ぎ続ける今ゴリゴリ乗り飛び込む仕事に乗り泳ぎ続ける Enjoy 音楽は鳴り続ける Joy 届けたい胸の鼓動心躍るアンコールはガスタンスタンスタンス Let it go 今ゴリゴリ乗り飛び込む仕事に乗り泳ぎ続ける Enjoy It's joy こうする心響き続ける Enjoy It's joy 心躍るアンコールはガスタンスタンスタンス Let it go 乗り飛び込む仕事に乗り泳ぎ続ける Enjoy It's joy こうする心響き続ける
And there we go. I would say it feels like it goes a lot quicker than the original.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing, actually. The original kind of, because it is like an early 2000s style song, something that would happen a lot back then is like there wasn't a lot of changes in the sort of structure of the song other than maybe dynamically. Whereas, yeah, I think because this one, it has more of those like dubstep elements, particularly like opening the song, and then we get that whole bridge section as well. It feels like it's moving quicker. It doesn't feel like it's sluggish, where the original sort of by like the 3.5 minute point, it was kind of like dragging on a little bit. Whereas, this one, it's able to keep the energy in like the slower parts, particularly that second verse, which I think was, a really good choice as well, bringing the energy down, but then able to, I would say,
back up.
Yeah, pull it back up, but even like beat the original potentially. So, yeah, pretty good. I also like, something that we mentioned as well, covering the first round of singles was sort of like, there's still a little bit of a amateur feel to some of the choices as well. It doesn't feel as polished as some of the later tracks, which is nice as well. But still very, very modern, very hard hitting. Definitely not out of place comparatively to, I guess, other tracks from Happy Around, but also other units and popular music in general at this point in time. So yeah, really good.
Oh yeah, definitely. I
Nice.
gotta say it's pretty solid. Although I feel like if I had to choose between which one I prefer, the original or the cover, I think for me it's kind of just right down the middle. It's just whatever I'm feeling on the day.
Yeah, they're both really good in their own right. I'd be the same. Like, yeah, if I wanted a big dance nightclub sort of vibe, I'd definitely go the cover. If I wanted something that's still got a lot of energy but a little bit more chill, I'm definitely going the original.
Although I guess we should move on to the next song, which is Ikuze Kaitō Shōjo,
Or also known as Let's Go Phantom Thief Girls.
which actually I think I did a pretty good job on the pronunciation there.
Not bad. Not bad.
I guess sound off if I could have done better. I don't think so, considering I'd probably be here all day.
Originally performed by the idol unit Momoiro Clover Z. Totally butchered that. Served as the theme song for TV program Rank Kingdom.
Which that sounds interesting.
It does, yeah.
I want to see more about it.
Rank Kingdom, information variety program that aired on the TBS network.
Okay.
Interesting.
I guess the more you know.
I guess so.
Okay, I guess we should move on to the song.
Yes, yes, we are the Momoiro Cover レミカナコ赤いしおりあやか桃と Go now 君のハートめがけてシンガーソンチャイムが鳴ったら急いで集合宿題なんかはしている暇ない制服脱ぎ捨てかわいい変身その名もカイト桃色コバ狙った獲物は逃がさないそう進出気持ちの大泥棒世界中みんな血まなこ誰一人止められないたのダイヤモンドそんなものは興味がないの欲しいものは一つだけあなたのその心 Oh yeah 笑顔と歌声で世界を照らし出せいくぜ Let's go 桃色のハートを狙い撃ちナイスなミュージックに乗せて反抗を予告です一丁そばっとあなたのそのハートいただきます Yes we are the 桃色カバー Hey go now お待たせしました2番春夏秋冬いつでもノンストップ大人が仕掛けとバナをくぐり抜け出血取ります Are you ready? Bango! 1、2、3、4、GO! 目に見えちゃうものなんていつか消えてゆくでしょう目に見えないものだけを全力集めてみたい華麗なステップで世界中駆け巡れいくぜ Let's go 桃色マシンガンみたいな諦めないからね手に入れてみせるよ今夜ずっとあなたのそのハートいただきます
You can see why I said that earlier on when we were listening to the original, that Happy Roundo made this their own.
Yeah, for sure. They've definitely taken the original and really just ran with it and really, sort of very much made it a happy around song. Almost an original, it feels like. Yeah, it feels less like an early happy around and more like a later one where
Oh, yeah.
yeah, it's like more developed, more like straightforward, to the point, well-rounded, I'd probably say. Pretty cool.
Although I guess I'm going to have to spoil what I was going to say till the end, but I definitely take this over the original any day of the week. Don't get me wrong, the original's pretty good, but this is a completely another league.
Yeah, I would say, I think the original was longer as well, and sort of like very much dragged on, where this one, it feels quicker, more direct to the point. There's
Not only that, but a lot more energy behind it.
More energy, more like ear candy as well in the production, just to keep you interested and engaged the entire time. Pretty cool so far.
Oh, yeah. I guess we should continue on with it. Although, I guess since I already had what I had to say, I guess we can just move on to the next. But no, we'll see this one through.
Go, go, go.
And there we go. I gotta say, I just absolutely loved the kind of the back end of it.
Yeah, it really drives it home very strong, particularly because it has like that little section that kind of brings things down a bit and then just like steamrolls through to the end.
Oh, yeah. And like, again, it kind of just further reinforces what I said earlier.
Yeah, it definitely does. Definitely, a really good job of taking a song and just upgrading it, I think.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely.
Yeah. Also, bonus points for having the silly air horn.
Oh, of course. Although that's kind of a staple of Happy Arando.
Yeah, it definitely is. Yeah, the unofficial fifth member.
6, you forgot Naicho.
Yeah, true. Cool. Yeah, obviously, we already know that, you would very much take this version over the original. I think I probably would as well. Yeah, this one's just, it's a bit more exciting overall.
Oh, yeah.
And if I was seeking either out, I'd probably go with this one as well. 9 times out of 10.
I guess there's anything else before we move on to Peaky P-Key?
I guess, out of the two really strong covers, I think I probably prefer the first.
Ooh. I can't really choose between the two, but if I had to pick, I would probably pick the second one.
Okay, fair enough. I think
both are really solid, though.
Yeah, both are really solid. I think for me, the first one, the energy is a no-brainer, but the song itself isn't. And I think that's where there's a little bit more of like an interesting play on the style. And it felt like maybe there was a little bit more freedom to try other things, where this one, you're like song structure and everything, it's quite straightforward. And as I mentioned, it feels very much like a sort of later release Happy Around song. So it's not as structurally or genre interesting, but just still a really good cover, really good outing for Happy Around, I think. And I guess as well, if it wasn't on an entire album, if this was released as like a double single of covers, you're getting some really good variety from having the two sort of different styles here, which is pretty nice.
Although I guess we should move on to Peaky P-Key, but
yes,
I don't know why I didn't mention to you this earlier, but I guess they brought out a whole heap of other singles, but instead of just doing like a 10th single, they just kind of released a compilation single of each unit. I'm not sure if they brought them all out yet, but I know there's a couple of them floating around.
Oh, okay.
And that would be interesting to get around to, which I'm thinking may be coming up next.
Okay.
After we finish off the second. Either that or we'll probably throw it in the second single, them, and then probably go over to like maybe the 4th single.
Oh, okay.
Because if we're going to do it out of order, we might as well keep on rolling out of order.
Guess,
but I guess we should move on to Backlit Wings. Okay.
Backlit.
God, I kind of just got a bit too keen to get into it.
I guess so.
I think that shows you how excited I am, because holy shit, this cover is up there as one of the best Peaky songs, let alone best cover. Although Can't Stay a Dreamy Girl is also up there, which can't wait to get around to covering. Also RIP, considering it was removed from the EN not too long ago.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, I know. And I was hoping to play it one more time, but I just missed the deadline. Oh. So, yeah, that sucks.
This one composed by the duo composers Kazunari Tsubasa and Amu Kanade from the Senki Zeshao Symphogear series. Symphogear.
There we go. Yeah. Took you long enough.
We got there.
God, I think the original was pretty good. And again, the original was kind of very, peaky.
Yes. Yeah. This
vibe. And from memory, Peaky P-Key took this song and just ran with it.
Yeah. This one I'm definitely keen to hear.
Although I am going to have not nice things to say about Cyber.
Okay. A little bit of foreshadowing there.
Yeah, but anyway, we should get into it. you can see why I like this song.
Oh, yeah. Damn. Like the original, as we said, it was already very good. You know, its energy level and like the style, it kind of knocks it out of the park. You know, if it's already a 9 on the energy scale.
This is like 11.
Yeah, oh, yeah. They really took it and just gave it that boost, which I didn't even know if that was going to be possible. But yeah, they definitely pulled it off really well. And I'm very glad that they also like kept the key change. So there's a little key change right after the first chorus that happens there. Because being a longer song, you know, it kind of needs it. So it's not, it's such a small change can just, really elevate a song and make it seem like there's something different's happened, even for people that don't know like the musicality behind things. So yeah, really good. Just great choice. Yeah, and they like kept the big epic intro, the big epic chorus, which I think definitely needed to happen. I just want to check.
Oh, what you want to check?
Because the runtime for this one is 6 minutes. I think the original was 5, but I don't remember exactly. So with that in mind, I'm curious to see what they do with the extra minute that they add on.
Okay. Well, I guess we should get back to it.
Yeah.
いつの日か分かる時が来るからずっと忘れないその時には心のあるがままに笑顔を忘れない僕と道はの鳥のように過去もつなぎ大空を強くかけていったんだそして生きる今を見たことない明日の先へ Yes, just feel it 全面の今日生まれ変わって歌いたい温かいよこのぬくもり絶対離さない Just feel it 運命なんてない物語は自分にあるじゃん逃げ出したくなったら空を見上げよう勇気こそが輝くんだよ Sing this song
And there we go. I gotta say, it doesn't actually, it still feels quicker though than the original, even though it's a minute longer.
Yeah.
It's just because it keeps the energy going and keep it feeling fresh too.
It does, yeah. Like, and just little moments like right before the keyboard solo, it brought things down just for a moment so that when that hit, it was able to drive it even harder than previously. And same sort of thing, like a little bit later on, you're getting this sort of big build up to the final chorus, then like the real hard cut, and there's just silence for a second or two, and then things come back in. But even when that last chorus comes back in, it comes in at a halftime pace, which is really cool, and then builds back up to the full time. Really, really cool. Yeah, it's got big like end of like epic boss battle sort of feel to it. It feels like, it should be the soundtrack very much for something. And of course the original is. So yeah, they're able to really keep that in there and part of the cover as well. Like it doesn't feel kind of like what we mentioned with the second cover from Happy Around, where it feels like it almost is a Happy Around cover. Original. Whereas, this one, it's still very much got the essence of the original. It's just kicked up to 11.
Which is basically what P-Key all the time.
Yeah, pretty much. Really cool.
So, yeah, it's definitely like on my list to recommend.
For
which,
sure.
Although that comes to the question, like, I really like the original, even though I think I've only listened to it a handful of times compared to the cover. But I think I kind of would just kind of prefer the cover over the original.
I'm not too sure. I think they both got very much
their own set of strengths.
Yeah, I'm sort of interested now because the original, looking at the album for the OST here that it's a part of, it opens the album. So I'm kind of interested to then now listen to the rest of the album to see how it compares and moves in and out, because there's also different composers on the album as well. Whereas, I guess usually
you have the one.
Yeah, it's just like the one composer. And I guess in other cases, like, we've just listened to two songs, the two covers previously, one of those was just like a song from a rap group. So, yeah, we don't really have like that extra context to put it, to compare it to. Whereas, with this one, we've only got like the one cover of the one song, but there's also all these other songs that sort of can connect to it. So it's sort of almost like an alternate reality of that OST.
Although I guess we should move on to the next cover, which is Cyber, which I was kind of surprised when we looked further into the group that performed it, that, again, my boy Motsu was there. Although it's just becoming the point where he's basically everywhere when it comes to Japanese music.
Yeah. And we found, he's got his hands in many pies.
Oh, yeah. Again, I think, I know for the OP of the first season of MF Ghost, he was collaborating with the with this other person that was doing the OP and that was kind of awesome. So even when he's not like a part of a group or something, he's usually featuring in songs, and it's just he's everywhere.
Yeah.
Although, which is funny because at first I didn't recognize him when he was releasing stuff under his own name. Until I looked further into Move, and I was like, wait. And I think that was brought on because I was listening to something he brought out. I was like, wait, isn't that the rapping guy from Move? And then I looked at it, I was like, oh, fuck, it is.
As we've also found as well, he's been around
for a while now.
For a while. So it makes sense that, he's built up this pretty esteemed career at this point. So he must be in pretty high regard, and everyone wants
I was about to say, I think he's actually doing pretty well. He had to be getting up there in age.
Yeah. And still looking pretty good as well.
Oh, shit, yeah.
From his little promo pics on his wiki there. Anyway, but I guess, specifically this one is performed by the synth pop band Ultima.
Which who was kind of headed by Motsu.
Yeah. And is part of their single release, Burst the Gravity.
Which, what a name.
Yeah. Very dramatic and intriguing.
Although saying that, some of the singles, well, actually, they were kind of a bit lazy when it came to naming their singles and that. Move. They just usually named it after, the song.
Ah, okay.
Although, damn, some of their song names were pretty good. So no wonder they would use them like Blast My Desire.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That definitely is a attention grabber right there.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's a shame that actually there's not more Move songs that have been covered like this. Like what? Gumble, Rumble, and why am I blanking? I should know these because I'm a big Move fan. So yeah, Gumble, Rumble, and Blazing Beat. There we go. How can I forget, considering that was used in the OP of the second stage, if I remember correctly.
Cool.
Which we'll get around to covering those soon. Actually, I think, haven't we already covered one of them?
I think so. All right.
Although I guess we should, before we get a bit more sidetracked than we already are, we should get into it.
I come to see what we eat out. What we eat out, what goes. Hey, cyber, cyber. Yeah, I come to see what we eat out. Hey, baby, are you ready? Go, 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 go. Don't stop and move your feet. Go, 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 go. The party with the beat. Go, 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 go. Nobody makes the massive noise. Go, go, go. With the flow, come on. You are such a risk with minimum. I can love you faster than anyone. What you got to do is scream my name. Check it out, my special with it. For the big it with some it. Make my look on the front. You see that super sweet body reaction you put inside. Keep it out on my own. Yes, such an unlimited force. So let's take the song. We're going side by side. Go, 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 go. Don't stop to move the feet. Go, 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 go. The body with the beat. Go, go, go. My body makes a massive noise. Go, go, go. The whole everybody go. The hero boot down, got to move hard like push up, push up. It's a lovely discipline. Everybody do what they say. Let's do the night upside down, inside out, feel no tighter. No wonder I got that. You got cyber back fast. That's what you got inside. Show you we give us a little light.
Okay, well, you can see why I kind of not a big fan of it. Like, yeah, it's not bad, but it just doesn't really have that trademark Peaky vibe.
It doesn't
It
have
feels
that.
kind of a bit flat compared to what they usually have.
It does. Yeah, it's not terrible at all. It's not offensive either to the original, but yeah, it doesn't quite meet the Peaky vibe. It also doesn't quite get the Motsu vocal delivery either.
Oh yeah, like although I think when it comes to vocals, you can't really beat him.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's pretty clear that they didn't try to either.
I would say that's like there's no way.
Yeah.
I don't think even Motsu could out Matsu.
No. But yeah, I was hoping that maybe at some point they would try, and maybe they still will in the last minute or so of the song that's left.
Kind of going back to the Mermaid covers or some of the Move songs, they kind of do, and
Okay.
they sort of succeed, but they just don't quite match his delivery.
Yeah. Like he's just got such like an aggressive style that kind of like commands you to listen to him, whereas like even production wise on this one, throughout the verses, the actual vocals, like rather than there being one single vocal that's like, hey, listen to me, the like lead vocals, there's two separate tracks, both panned, like one's panned hard left, the other's panned hard right, which is a really cool technique to use because like when the chorus comes in, it sort of like makes you listen to the chorus vocal a little bit more intently. But yeah, completely loses all of that energy that's in the original brought from the vocal performance. So, yeah, disappointing on both fronts, I think. Yeah, not quite a Peaky song, not quite getting the original, but I'm interested to see, yeah, if they can build it up at the end here or if it just sort of like stays flat. Like
I
you
think,
kind of
yeah,
said.
for memory, it stays pretty flat. Let's
see.
continue.
Make a big scream! Here I come, the C-Y-B-E-R, what is it all down? Hey, side by side, here I come, the C-Y-B-E-R, what is it all down? Hey, side by side, go, 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 go! Don't stop the move with me. Go, 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 go! The party with the beat. Go, 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 my body makes a massive noise. Go, go, go! We got hope, everybody.
And there we go. So I guess what's your thoughts?
It was fun to have that nice little bridge section, you know, and the fun little moments, like crowd participation moment, but pretty overall lackluster. Doesn't quite get there for me. It would have been interesting, I guess, in a alternate universe to have heard what maybe Rondo could have done with that song.
Oh, I think that would have been interesting.
Yeah, because at least like if they couldn't have done the intensity of the vocal, I think they could have brought a very intense sort of musical backing. Whereas, yeah, this one, neither music or vocal performance quite gets there.
Although saying that, I was just quickly looking through my kind of heavily used like D4DJ playlist, which holy fuck, creative tile D4DJ Super Mix 2 Electric Boogaloo. So I guess if you want to go check that out, because that's basically like my best way to describe it is basically my recommended list. And surprisingly, Cyber's on there, but I think that's more carryover from the older playlist, considering I kind of just duplicated it and then just added new stuff onto it. I'm thinking of kind of, again, going through and completely reworking the list. So I guess there may be a super mix free finally. But I guess besides that side tangent, I guess it's kind of obvious how this stacks up to the original, which it doesn't quite hold a candle to it.
Yeah, I'd agree. Which, yeah, disappointing, kind of sucks. But particularly, I guess, at this point in the album as well. It's something that I'm always intrigued by is like track listing and where songs get put. Maybe that makes a bit more sense because, yeah, you know, we're kind of almost at the halfway.
Oh, there is Gumble Rumble.
Yeah, there it is.
So we will be covering it in next episode.
We will be.
Shit, yeah, let's go.
So, yeah, not wrong.
Any reason to listen to Move, I am happy for.
Yeah.
Although I'm not sure what's going to happen with part 3 because it may get nuked off the face of the planet because of, well, one track.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Well, we'll find out.
We will find out. But
So, yeah, well, you'll know why Tokyo Teddy Bear will probably be missing in the part 3.
Well, at least the audio. Our thoughts will still be there, but potentially the audio for that one might not be.
So I guess that part 3 is going to be a bit shorter.
Potentially. We'll see.
Although, holy shit, we got a strong lineup for part 2. Ready, Steady, Go, and Hot Limit. Holy shit. I think those are up there as some of the best covers that Photo Mountain has done. But haven't I said that for like a lot of the songs? It's just because there's a lot of the covers that we have been covering are like way up there.
Yes, true.
Actually, I think, for me, Volume 2 is probably the strongest contender for the best cover track volume.
Oh, okay, cool.
Although I think it's 4 that could also give a run for its money.
Right.
from memory. Although I'd have to go through the track lists, or the songs on the track lists again.
Yeah.
I know one was pretty good, although it was a bit more of a mixed bag. But even some of the weaker cover track volumes, at best, are kind of a mixed bag. You get some good with the bad. Although I know one volume was particularly mid. Although I bet you when I get around to covering it, I'm probably going to swing a bit because I've noticed that I've said like one thing, then listened to the song, and I'm like, oh, I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But I guess I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess that wraps up part 1.
Well, I guess we might as well I'm going to kind of start ranking the units now, but
Okay.
I think we can safely say that, Happy Aroundo is starting off with a comfortable first place.
Yeah, they've started off very strong.
Oh, shit, yeah. Although, if I had a hesitant guess, I think Photon may actually threaten them for first place,
Okay.
just based on the songs. But again, I don't think I've listened to those in a while. Although, again, I think Mermaido wouldn't be too far behind. I think it's really going to be a battle between Mermaido and Peaky P-Key for third place.
Okay.
Although I would kind of say the Lyrical Lily side of things may be a bit of a wild card. Although I think Rondo's still going to place pretty strong, possibly even pushing both Mermaido and Peaky P-Key down for a fight for fourth.
Okay.
So that's kind of how I'd roughly order it.
All right.
But I guess by the time we get to the end of part 3, we'll have a bit more of a definitive, but those are my predictions.
Yeah.
I guess start making your bets on who comes in first.
But I guess, that'll do us for this one. Let us
We'll
know.
catch you around for part 2.